Hello, and welcome to the Cursed Content Club, the only club where I don't know what the fuck this movie is about. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Dan and Bob Video Games from GigaBoots.com.
I'm a feminist. That reference doesn't make sense ahead of the movie at all, but that's okay. I'm a fucking samurai.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
KZ Excellent from KZExcellent.com.
This is gonna be a fucking mistake. I'm so proud.
And special guest, Voxandra from twitch.tv/Voxandra.
Gamer.
Stop it.
And today we are watching Versus, a movie I know basically nothing about. I will let Bob explain because he decided on this movie.
Yes, Bob. Why should people care who like, video games, specifically Kino games, specifically Game of the Year 2020 or 2019 from GigaBoots? Why would they care about this?
Versus has the action director from Devil May Cry 3, 4, 5, and Bayonetta. And it really shows.
It really shows.
Yeah, that's basically the main reason. It's one of the most preposterous movies I've ever seen, and it's made on like a $5,000 budget in one park in Japan.
It's made in a state park, you guys, for $5,000.
Excuse me, that's the Forest of Resurrection.
But yeah, this is legitimately one of my favorite movies. So, I wouldn't say it's cursed, but also you've heard the description, it's cursed.
Yeah, that's fair.
This movie is not cursed, but we are choosing to watch the dubbed version of this movie.
I love the dubbed version. It's great.
And this is when I point out this is a live action movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, it's real good. Real good.
Curse content. You bring a lot of things. You bring a lot of things to curse content.
Here are a few things that I presumably this was dubbed by the distributors. Tokyo Shock, who distributed such things as Ricky O, the story of Ricky. If you've ever watched a fighting game stream, you have probably seen the clip of him punching the wall of prison down and yelling, "You are all free now."
We need to watch that at some point. That movie is cursed, but also amazing.
Oh no!
Phenomenal.
The One-Chanbara movies.
Okay, yes, they have a market for this.
They know their market. It's Bob.
And Kekko Kamen, which is the old manga series by Go Nagai that is about a sexy female heroine who wears boots and a helmet.
Ah, I see. So Feel and KZ, do you have any expectations for Versus?
So, a lot of things come to curse content. A combination of things we think would be a good idea. Sometimes it becomes a complete mystery like this one. And when you said, "So are we watching the dub?" I went, "What? Oh no. This is a new type of evil you brought into our home."
Dubbed films?
No, the concept of foreign language films.
Is this the first one?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Hellbinders was an American production.
Huh.
Are you telling me I show up and it's the first time it's a Japanese movie?
Well,
yeah,
it's going to set the bar. This will be the Parasite of Cursed Content Club. I'm really excited.
It will be, actually. You think you're
know
kidding.
nothing. I know nothing about this. All I've seen is the logo. That's it.
Admittedly, there's nothing in the production logos is going to be as good as Horse on Fire screaming and running.
I think it might end up being better than Surf's Up 2.
Yeah, it's going to be
Probably.
Feel, do you have any expectations?
I expect at least one moment we will all be howling simultaneously and it will just be the worst. It'll be a nightmare to hear as commentary.
I expect there'd be way more than one.
You know, if it involves something violent happening to someone, Feel will be gone.
Yeah, no, Feel's going to be like hysterical Feel laughter that he tries his entire life to suppress through way too much of this, I feel. It's going to be good. This is some good content. I feel like people are really going to want the commentary on this one. And you can actually rent this movie over on Amazon, where it streams the normal Versus version, which is the version we will be doing for this, not Versus Ultimate, due to the limited availability of the Ultimate version.
But after you've seen it, definitely go check that out.
Oh, God, yes. No, it's worth a second viewing with the Ultimate version because you'll just head snap the moment you see the footage they filmed 10 years later and inserted like it was nothing.
It's a vast improvement.
You can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. $5 a month gets you commentary tracks for Cursed Content Club, Cursed Content by Committee, that's our viewer voting Cursed Content show, early access to Mondo Cool, our Dragon Ball podcast, extended armchair dev pitches, and other benefits. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
And I guess with him finishing the shill, it's time to go watch the movie. Bye, everyone. Goodbye.
And we're back. Versus is a 2000 film by Ryuhei Kitamura. In this film, a bunch of people LARP in a forest for an hour until the plot shows up, and then LARP for another hour until the movie shoots you with a shotgun and the credits roll. So, Vox, what did you think of Versus?
Versus, my favorite movie of all time, to the point that I almost take offense to it being in cursed content, but knowing that it was only brought in here as a Trojan horse to just make people believe it was going to be something cursed and then just hit him in the gut with the rawest, most Kino experience they could ever enjoy. I love this movie more than I hate my father.
Put that on the back of the box.
On a scale of -5 to 5, what would you give it?
I reject the premise of this question because you can mark it down as a 5, but I'm going to say a 10. So I will say 10, but you can mark it down as a 5 because I understand the rules of what you have set forth here.
Gotcha.
But let the record show it is a 10 out of 10 in my heart.
Dan.
Versus is one of the most inspiring films as a person who likes making video. It shows you that you can, in fact, just cosplay the Matrix, get some guns and swords, and make a dope-ass movie in a public park. Versus is delightful, with amazing performances handed in by Green Shirt and Lady from the Matrix. It is truly incredible. Everyone should watch this movie. It's so good. There is no downside to watching this. I'm going to give it a 5.
Bob.
Yeah, no, this is also one of my favorite movies ever. It's really amazing, and I can't believe they're still making things like this in Devil May Cry games. So, yeah, 5 out of 5 for sure.
KZ.
This was insane and incredibly hilarious at points. We have spoiled for choice on great characters too, but the first half I think was a little bit slow. So I'll give it a 4.
This movie was insane.
It was slow for 2 seconds.
Now that first like 45 minutes, aside from wacky shit happening, I'm like, we're kind of just existing here.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's a Mexican holdout
I'm
in the
lost.
I think KZ forgot the movie again, guys.
KZ, I'm going to force you to watch this again with me until you understand that it's a 5 out of 5.
Don't let her know where you live.
Nope.
This movie never goes more than 30 seconds without something fucking insane happening that forcibly grabs your attention and holds your face to it.
No, it had my attention. I saw what was happening and went, all right, well, what's the plot though? What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. Let's go right into our segments. We'll start as we always do with the best character as the guest. Vox will get to go first and take
Thank you.
whatever character she wishes.
Such a blessing.
And of course, I am going to say that the best character, the one whom on my computer at home, I have a folder just labeled green shirt guy with various images of him. It is going to be, and if I believe what his actual name is, as we usually refer to him as green shirt guy, in the credits is Yakuza with a butterfly knife.
We should probably mention that no one in this movie has a name.
Yeah, this isn't us blanking. No one has a name.
My favorite thing to do when I show people this movie is at the end say, so what was the main character's name? And just watch as their mind just melts, realizing he never what? They never said, wait a second. They didn't say anyone's name. What the fuck? Yakuza with a butterfly knife is the most delightful character ever. He is the reason I watch Kamen Rider, because I looked up what this actor did afterwards, found out he was in a Kamen Rider show, and that got me hooked on that. His presence in the movie is just, from the moment he gets out of the car, you just know this is the guy. This is going to be my favorite character. And it just never ends.
He's very delightful.
He's very delightful. It makes me sad he becomes Toad Man.
That is true. I have always felt that way.
It is a little sad,
But-
but it's also hilarious, and you know he's loving doing that.
Yeah,
Every moment of it.
him just being the fierce Metal Solid 3 is really quite something.
Yeah.
This movie is the DNA of so many gay PS2 games. It's fucking weird.
It's fantastic.
Bob, you get to go second.
Okay.
Blessed.
Yeah. I'm going to choose the main character. Prisoner something 303. Sakaguchi. He is the center point for most of the insanity in this movie. He typically just looks at things very disinterestedly, and says something he thinks is cool, but really isn't, and everyone kind of knows it isn't. Yeah.
I never lose after he has lost like 4 times in the movie on screen.
Yes. But really, he never loses. Because he's a feminist at the beginning of the movie and proceeds to beat the woman who he saves like ceaselessly. Like he just knocks her out with these karate chops like in Speed Racer.
Like he put her on hold.
Yes. It's a lot. It really is. And much like Fox, I looked up what this actor went on to do and found many, many movies. Him and the main villain of this movie rematch in another movie. That movie's bad, though.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they both in Battlefield Baseball? Or are they on the same side?
I think Tak is in Battlefield Baseball, but I don't think the bad guy is.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong
I
on
don't
that.
think the villain is.
It says he is. It says he's
Okay.
Koichi.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, then they're probably on the same side.
Right.
Battlefield
Oh,
Baseball's
fuck, they're both
real
in the
good.
Otokojuku movie. We
Yes.
need to do that at some point.
That movie is so bad. That one legit is cursed. So, sure.
I read the manga so I can point out what parts are right or wrong or bad. That manga's really bad.
None of them are actually in shape. So for doing stuff in that movie, it just comes off as hilarious as their shirts fly off and they're just kind of like sagging 30-some dudes.
No, it's great. That's
They're all
fantastic.
supposed to be high school students.
That part's appropriate. I mean, I've seen what that manga looks like.
That's true. Everybody's Kenshiro in that.
Yes.
Well, Dan, you get third pick on best character.
I'm gonna have to do the man from Langley, the man who grew up in Yellowstone Park in Canada.
You mean the fighter?
Yes, he is one of the two
As
fighters.
he keeps
in
calling
this.
himself,
The hunter.
which he keeps
Yes.
referring to as a mystical title.
It's so good. He's so delightful. He dies with style. He does everything with style. He's so crazy. He exerts every muscle in his face in every scene.
Yes.
It's so incredible. He has such pronounced cheekbones and chins, and he's doing such a fucking dumb face at all times while just spewing bullshit non-stop. It's fucking incredible. That guy, sincerely, the first time I watched it, was basically the highlight of the film to me. Like, him and Greenshirt are just both so incredible. He's so good. What a fucking piece of shit.
KZ, you may go fourth.
The man who's always screaming and running away.
Rat boy.
Yeah.
I thought he was stupendous. His performance really high up there. His ass was still hurting throughout various points. I'm surprised he was in it this much.
He kept shooting people on his side and then screaming it wasn't his fault.
That sequence of he has the dude pinned down and he has no idea what he's going to do. And he changes his mind of I'm shooting him, I guess. I'm gonna cut him. I'm getting my gun again. I'm running away.
Yeah.
That's typically how every thought process ends for him. Run away.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to do
Yeah.
a thing. I'm not going to do a thing. Bye.
Maybe try and stab somebody with a gun.
Got his ass saved by his charm.
It's real good.
Well, I am very glad that he lasted this long. I'm going to take the villain who is the man, as is his name on the credits. The man.
That man.
This is partially due to the incredible dub where he says, I had to wait 500 years for you to reincarnate. It sucked.
Yes.
That is
While uncredited, I am convinced Kirk Thornton voiced him, who has been in various anime and straight up Kingdom Hearts.
Also, the fact that he has a bizarre sword that he takes out of a suitcase that sword should not have been able to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was in all the pieces.
Yeah, and he assembled it.
Put it together to create the ultimate sword.
The blade was longer than every dimension of the box.
Yeah, the blade was in 2 different pieces.
Yeah.
But you put
And
them
then
together and then it opens up and it's all solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has a magic sword.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, such an incredible portrayal of just, I have been owned and I'm not happy about it.
Oh, yes. He's so good at
Just-
that.
Quaking, restrained fury.
Very thirsty.
Incredibly.
With our best characters out of the way, we're on to the harder category for this movie, which is the worst characters. And Bob gets to go first with this.
I think that this is actually hard. Like, I don't dislike any of them. Probably the lady with the miniskirt that shows up halfway through the movie, just because she gets owned so hard so quickly.
The gun lady?
Yeah, the gun lady.
Okay, the gun lady.
People are really going to have to watch this to understand.
She has the leather coat. She opens it up and has the 2 guns and the red shorts or skirt.
Yes, and she gets a weird, like facial monster thing going on with it later in the movie. It's weird.
She gets licked a little.
Yes, that too. That's part of one of the most uncomfortable scenes in the movie.
Yes.
Just Hideo Sakaki's like, hey man, can you include this scene where I get to lick her? I'm like, why? Like,
That's pretty
does it
cool.
Want it?
No reason.
I'm like, well, you'll take a pay cut if I let you lick her, right? Yes. Well, okay, I guess this movie only has a $10,000 budget.
Do whatever you want, man, I guess.
Or she just asks, the scene is great, but what if he just kind of really kept at it?
No, that's never how that happens. Actually, the actress really thought the scene would do better if she was nude. Like, no, that never happens. Dan.
It's not easy. It's not. Choosing a least favorite character in this is incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But there is man who gets shot to death at the beginning.
Yeah, I almost selected him.
Oh, snakeskin coat man.
Yes. His
Fucking
outfit.
big George Takei.
That's mean.
What?
That poor man. I hope Japan can put him back together after Bob eviscerated him with his words.
Fucking ruthless.
Yeah, I feel like his character contributed the least in the film. His role kind of important, but I'm not feeling him. He's my least favorite character. This is a great cast, so it's always hard to choose, but I think I'm pretty spot on with it, saying snakeskin jacket fuck.
Yeah. Vox.
I have been considering who I was going to say for this since we decided that we were going to do this with verses, and I had just been thinking since then, who am I going to say is my least favorite character? Now I can cheat and say, oh, zombie portrayed by Kojima.
Damn it, that was gonna be mine.
Simply to drop in the fact that Kojima is a zombie in this uncredited, but then I would not be able to point out which zombie it is.
But doesn't that make him the least
Unfortunately.
likable person?
That is true.
Because he's upsetting at all times.
Yeah, you can't find him.
I would like him more if I could figure out which zombie it is. There's one where there's a scene where a zombie pops up and you only see him from behind, and then he gets shot and knocked back down. And his hair kind of looks like what I would assume Kojima's hair would look like in 2000.
Right.
So I just have this thought of like, maybe it's that one. And it was interesting to see Feel's guesses as to which one it was too. If I have to pick a least favorite, it probably would be that, because everyone else who's a named quote unquote character, I feel like did a great job in the role of their character. So I'm going to have to say Kojima.
Well, I'll go next. My least favorite character is Matrixman, the red-haired assassin.
But they punch through his head and it's really crazy.
It is crazy.
He's so lame, and something about his hair offends me on a primal level.
But he can fly.
He makes a noise when he floats down.
It's so funny.
He gets his head bashed in with a rock.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Because by the way, one of the 4 times in this movie, the hero that never loses is to this red-haired goober. But I guess that counts as a win, because once he's looking in another direction, the hero runs up two-handing a rock.
What a hero.
Mm-hmm. Sounds pretty heroic to me.
So that's my pick. KZ.
The girl that got reincarnated, I guess,
Yeah.
because she's the only one else I can remember.
The heroine.
It's the only one I can remember that I'm not like, you're cool. She's like, she's there. She does that cool distraction tech from the scene field just mentioned.
And she hits that one girl.
She becomes immune to his knockout techniques.
And also dodges that one.
Yeah.
I believe 7 minutes of this movie's entire runtime is just
Her face.
reaction shots of her staring.
Her pouty lips
Yeah.
almost got the second headlining credit, where it's just like her pouty lips, number 2. Number 3, the rest of her. So, yeah, no, I totally feel you on that, Casey. She was almost my choice.
Yeah, she's not great.
Yeah, where I go, there's not much here. It's like, I understand why you exist plot-wise, but you haven't done anything that makes me care or give a shit at all.
She's really kind of empty, yet still more written than a Toriyama woman.
That's not hard. Most instructional manuals for like rice cookers have better character development than fucking Toriyama women.
Oh, the rice cooker can turn off on its own. That's some degree of agency.
Oh my god.
Dan, what is your favorite scene in this film?
Fuck.
Right?
Give him a magnum.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, it would almost help more to go later just because there's such a plethora of
Be narrowed down.
really good scenes. I think I'm going to go with the scene that hit the hardest for me on my first viewing. Because there are a lot of really fun combat scenes. There's a lot of funny jokes. But the conclusion of my favorite of the hunter is the best shit in the movie, where he just brags about how his reaction speeds are 500 times faster than Mike Tyson, and he tries to literally matrix dodge a bullet and only to go oops and explode.
A bullet from an anti-material rifle.
It's so good.
Which follows up the other part in that scene of the dude's like, give me back my hand, man who's been missing a hand and has punched people with his nub.
Yes.
He's like, give me my hand back. Dude throws it to him, goes, this is a left hand. I have 2 left hands, and gets his head blown a big hole into it.
It's so good. Fuck. Such a good scene. It's such a good scene. God, is it good.
People are going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? I got to watch this movie now.
You do.
They better.
Yeah.
Fucking, we can't describe it with
They're like, what are you
words.
talking about, Yellowstone?
KZ, I need your favorite scene.
Oh, that's rough. That was actually my favorite scene.
Yeah, that was also what mine was going to be. It's rough.
I'm sorry, guys. That hit really hard for me the first time I watched it, because the rest of it, I'm just like, this is delightful. But then that happened, and I'm like, I couldn't have predicted this level of insanity in one scene in a fucking 1,000 years.
I'm trying to think of other scenes they were in, but I'll pick something different. The exchange between, I think it was Green Shirt Guy and Screamy Guy, where they get into a fight and he doesn't know how to finish him off, and then he just leaves and gets shot.
It was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. He finds him dying and is like, hey, I'm going to kill you. And cowards out and gives him the gun and runs away.
Yeah. At first he has a gun. Then he's like, I'm going to shoot him. Then he's like, no, knife, I'll do that. And then he got scared because the dude got mad because he was getting sliced open. Gave him the gun, got shot, was saved by a charm, and then leaves.
I think it was a sense of, it was obvious that Green Shirt Guy was dying because his heart was gone.
Hanging out.
So I think he like left the gun with a bullet left, like, do it yourself, and then to run. Probably also because he was afraid of killing him and then him resurrecting and coming back after him as a zombie. That was probably the progression of the mentality there.
Ideally, this would be a scene that would have... There was probably like 2 or 3 things you want to hit on in that scene. But somehow that had 47 events inside it. All of them feel critical after seeing it. There's a lot of character development.
Well, I think the best scene that wasn't already mentioned, I have to take it from Bob. When the protagonist puts on his coat that he stole off a corpse.
There it is.
That's such a good scene.
He steals a cool leather trench coat off a corpse.
Oh my god, I
Throws
can't
it
believe
on.
David Cage ripped this off.
And then poses with the gun over his face, and it looks like that edit of the Click cover What if you had a gun?
I have been furious about that scene in Detroit because just that game already upsets me, as we know. But seeing that happen was just go fuck yourself. Versus did this better than you could ever hope to imagine you could do.
He's like, I love verses. Oh.
It also comes off as very Devil May Cry 3 intro where he spins the leather jacket while putting it on. It has that same energy of spinning the jacket and looking really cool at first.
Yeah,
It's not quite as absurd because, of course, they couldn't shove the camera down the sleeve.
right. I'm sure he wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Hell, man, given the story about reloading the gun with the teeth, I'm sure they tried to do that.
Yeah, God.
Stop mentioning that.
Give full context so people understand what you're talking about.
No.
Nope, I'm doing it. So the dude, Tak Sakaguchi, main character.
Dan, there's a reason I'm saying I'm not saying don't say it. I'm saying we have to save it. Because that might be someone's least favorite scene for that reason.
But it's not in the movie.
Doesn't matter.
It's close enough to being in the movie. I let him know as soon as it happened.
I just don't want to hear it, okay?
There's no Eldritchian Spirit of Christmas in Mr. Saint Nick either. I still somehow made it my least favorite character.
No. The fucking shadowy hand of that figure absolutely existed.
Bob, what's your favorite scene, Bob?
This is incredibly hard. This movie is almost nonstop amazing scenes that I've remembered forever. But I'm going to choose the scene where our main character is awakening to his true power, and a katana appears in his hands while there's
That's a real cool
supposedly lightning striking, but it's just lights flashing.
It is a fucking quickening.
Yes, it is a quickening.
You know what? It fucks me up. When you said awaken true power, I went, when he got the sunglasses?
No, that wasn't true power. The girl was really thought they were lame, and you had to show them away.
That's unfortunate because they were really powerful. They were very thin.
The guitar riffs with that were so perfect, too.
Perfect. Absolutely.
That was such a good scene. Oh my god.
But yes,
It is important for us to bring to the audience's attention that this katana that the protagonist materializes out of thin air
Yes.
has a trigger guard on it. So
Yes.
he can spin it for no reason.
Yeah, he has to be able to spin it on his finger like a gun. It also has a small knife on the other end of the sword.
yes.
I really think what they're going for is it just doesn't have a real handle and it's just covered in cord.
Ah.
This movie becomes a lot more powerful when you have the context that it was made in 2000.
You could make this movie today and it would still be amazing.
Just the idea that it predates a lot of shit.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
certainly helps you go, oh, hey, Kojima, you just borrowing? And he's like, yes.
He's like, the licking, yeah.
I'll put it back, I promise.
I mean, the director of this directed the cutscenes in the Twin Snake, so I feel like Kojima was like, I'm gonna steal from you, here's a job.
And then that guy went on to make some American movie, and I don't know if he ever made anything after that.
He's like, hey, dude, I'm going to borrow this. Don't worry, though. I'm going to stick it next to this other dude I'm stealing from The Running Man.
Oh man, we need to watch Godzilla Final Wars sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that movie.
Godzilla Final Wars is really good for those who don't know. Same director.
Also incredibly dumb.
Incredibly dumb. Unspeakably dumb. Which is quite a statement for a fucking Godzilla film. It's like, it's already about kaiju. How dumb can it get? Fucking.
Apparently he directed the 2014 live-action Lupin movie.
How have I not seen that? How have I not seen that?
I don't think it ever got a real release in the States, so we'd have to acquire it.
I'm
He also directed a 2017 American horror movie called Downrange.
I knew he did the Midnight Meat Train, but I didn't know about that. That's
what?
Yeah, the Midnight Meat.
I want to run that by us again.
How much does he charge for that, Bob?
The Midnight Meat Train. It's a Clive Barker movie.
Midnight Meat Train is when we finish recording all this and then we all head over to Whataburger.
Ooh, thank you, Podlords.
Well, Locke, since you've seen this movie the most times, you get to go last, because I'm sure you can easily pick a scene after all the ones we picked.
So the issue here is that, yes, I can pick a scene, but they're all cycling through my head, and I'm just like, which one do I pick as my favorite? Because this is so difficult.
Like a game show wheel.
Because I could say the one where, it might be this one, where they do the flashback right before the whole sword sequence where he summons his sword back, where it shows him deciding to kill the girl, which he reluctantly does, which she wants him to do, because they have them surrounded. There's no way they're going to get away. They're going to get her and use her power of resurrection to open up the gate.
Yeah, they have the 2 keys.
But so they own him by being like, fine, I'll just die. What if I just died? And it's like, all right. And just the look on his face when he realizes what they just did. And it's just like, you motherfuckers. And just the scene of him unleashing his rage in the way he kills him is so well done. And seeing that after him explaining how I had to wait 500 years for her to resurrect, it sucked. And then to see how angry he was when it happened, I feel like I would say that'll be my favorite scene for this. Because I, again, could pick out multiple other ones. Even just the introduction of the Yakuza and the way Green Shirt guy just like nonchalantly shoots the other prisoner just to test out to see what the hell is going on is amazing. There's just so many amazing scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with the flashback.
We didn't get to talk about the other prisoner who looks like the main character of Yakuza 7.
Yes, that guy.
And he gets spun around to 180 and just starts slowly walking back the way he came.
Yes.
That was a great moment.
That was a good moment.
Man. Gee.
That character, by the way, is absolutely bottom in the cast. He has also apparently not been in jack shit otherwise.
Aww.
Now we're going on to the worst scene. I'll lead the charge. So there's a scene where the protagonist acquires mini guns. He's holding one in his teeth that already hurts because biting metal is very uncomfortable and makes my teeth hurt as someone who has had dental problems in the past. Then Dan decided to tell me, oh yeah, there was a shot where he tried to cock it in his teeth and cracked a tooth, and I almost died in the middle of the commentary track.
I'll be fair to Dan. I told you that. You don't have to blame Dan for everything.
I just brought it up again.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that
I forgot.
It even happens on the podcast. Bob says the thing. Somebody goes, Dan, why'd you do that? And I just curl up in the corner going,
You turned to a dog?
yes.
I forgot because Bob said it plainly, and then Dan gleefully repeated it when he sensed that it would hurt me.
And Dan's like, I'm glad you mentioned this. Let me just twist it.
I'm like, hear how dedicated they are to the craft. He has that problem with his teeth to this day.
Vox, tell me the
Yes.
worst scene, as hard as it may be.
This is going to be really difficult. I am going to slightly cheat in a way. Very slightly, though. In that
I know where this is going.
when he punches through the guy's face and you can see his tongue and teeth from the back, the gaping hole, it's so uncomfortable for me to watch that I have to look away when it happens.
It's true.
Because I'm very squeamish with these things.
I saw it. You do that.
Yeah. There's certain, like, I love this movie to death, and I would never say remove that.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm very bad with gory, squeamish things, so I need to look away for certain ones. I've seen this movie so many times, I still wince when it just hangs on that shot, and I gotta look away a little bit. So for me, that would be my least favorite scene because I need to look away from it, even though I would never say remove it or anything like that. So that would be my least favorite.
Do you think that the multiple scenes that are basically someone gets a hole punched in him and then it shows the camera shot through the hole, do you think Steve Odenkirk just stole that for Kung Pao?
I don't remember when Kung Pao
They were
was. I
both
think
around the same time.
It
but
was
I think
it was
Kung Pao
2 years later.
2000
Kung Pao was 2 years later.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
2002.
I was gonna say. Yeah, probably.
Because this seems like the kind of movie a person who would make Kung Pao would end up seeing.
Yeah, and that part of the movie isn't even edited out of old movie footage.
Yeah,
as far
it's
as
not
I know.
edited out of the old movie. It's all new.
Yeah, it's all new. With the iconic line, "Open your mouth."
KZ.
Oh. This is one of those times where they're actually I can't find a bad scene necessarily, or something that stands out like this is the worst part of the movie. So I will cheat and say the final scene because it presents me something I want to see, but we may never see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurts. It's like Hellbinder.
As soon as
how
I
Hellbinder's
realized,
also sets up for a sequel we'll never get.
Just this is the future. Everyone shaved their head. I immediately went, yeah, this is what I want. Laser sight swords.
Yes.
The protagonist apparently regained his memories of justice, but that was a red herring, and he was still evil and decided he needed to destroy the world.
It was very smart.
I
Grew
believe
his eye back.
the word you're looking for, Bob, is kino.
Subverted my expectations.
As we all know, that
Cool.
automatically makes a movie good.
Yes.
In this case, yes.
I love a good movie with a good twist at the end.
Real authorship.
How do you say that word? Just make it sound so fucking filthy.
I heard someone say that about The Last Jedi this week. So
Of course
I was
you
like,
did.
Dan.
I was like, I need to use this on feel at some point.
Dan, we need to escape. What's your least favorite scene?
I'm gonna say my least favorite scene overall. There's some good sides and downs. Upsides, downsides. It's difficult in this movie because no scene is wholly terrible. But I'm gonna go ahead and say my least favorite scene is the scene where Green Shirt becomes Lizard Man. Because
that's not great.
while funny, that dude's faces were much more varied before, and him dancing with a butterfly knife is fucking hilarious. He was really good before he became a lizard, and when he became a lizard, his range was a bit limited to puking bile and crawling around.
But he could dig into the ground like
He could dig into the ground like Diglett using Dig.
Amazing.
And that is amazing, but it made me I felt sad, and maybe that makes it an effective scene, but it also makes it my least favorite scene.
He's just trying to manipulate your emotions with that sadness, Dan. This darn director.
Yeah, you heard that soundtrack. It was very emotional.
Manipulative, yes.
We can't start talking about game facts.
Dan, I love that what you just did was describe something that I have felt like when I was younger, thinking about this movie and ruminating over it.
Yeah.
And part of it was like, I love it, but when Green Shirt Guy gets to that point, it works, it makes sense, and it's good. But I just love everything he does so much that it's like, man, I wish there was just more. And seeing him like this is like making me feel things.
And this literally was how I felt the first time I watched this movie. Like it feels like that, where you're just like, he was such a delight before. What an insane asshole.
And seeing the past version of him with the huge staff just doing the same shit but with a different weapon.
Yes.
Just phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. Least favorite character, Forest of Resurrection.
It really has a mind of its own.
Bob.
I'm going to cheat here and just be like, yeah, the licking scene. I'm surprised it wasn't taken yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought Phil was gonna take it.
that's not cheating. How the fuck is that cheating?
Well, we talked about it already.
That doesn't make something cheating. We do that all the time.
We
I
just
know.
talked too much.
Well, the scene, extended scene where the antagonist licks this girl like a lot.
It's
Bob.
like a minute and a half.
Bob, I'm gonna need details. How does he lick her? Why?
Yes, please.
Which
I-
parts?
well,
Give me your
Stop.
meat train.
I don't think I need to keep going with this, but she's covered in blood, so he's licking up the blood.
It's a lot of blood.
No.
Gotta hit every nerve of the neck on both sides.
Please get us out of here.
Well, that's it for our segments. Does anybody have any final thoughts on Versus?
You can dismiss this movie as weeb bullshit, but you would be wrong to do that. It literally takes my top films I want to make people watch, for good or bad. It is The Unknown Kung Fu Hustle. It is so incredible, and I think every person honestly owes it to themselves to watch Versus. It's so funny in such universal ways, where the only people who cannot enjoy Versus, I feel, are your parents. Your parents will never enjoy the movie Versus, and that's a good
Put
thing.
that on the back of the box.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. No, they would not. There is no situation in which they would get anything out of this movie at all.
I think my dad might like Versus.
Why is she shaking the gun at him? Why doesn't she just shoot him?
Friends don't let friends not enjoy Versus. If you know someone who doesn't enjoy Versus, I bet you that you can't stand them for a completely unrelated reason. That's just science. Think about it.
I am deeply, deeply upset that I didn't know this movie existed until this year.
Man, you're gonna have your ass blown out when you see Battlefield Baseball, which is a very, very, very different type of movie.
Still no idea what Battlefield Baseball is.
Don't look it up.
Please do not. Do not.
I will not.
So is Battlefield Baseball the lesser known Shaolin Soccer? Because I like Shaolin Soccer.
Yes.
Oh God, it is.
Translates perfectly. Holy shit!
I like it a lot more than Shaolin Soccer, but yes.
I like it a lot more than Shaolin Soccer because it is so much lower rent than Shaolin Soccer.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is either. I have a feeling it has nothing to do with sports.
Shaolin Soccer
no, it
does.
absolutely does.
Battlefield Baseball does to an extent.
In a way, yes.
Oh no. Oh no, the way you answered it is bad.
So KZ, Shaolin Soccer is about superpowered soccer. At one point, the evil team that has been pumped full of drugs and I think cybernetic enhancements are about to beat the goalie of the heroic team to death by kicking the ball at him repeatedly. So he calls his wife to say goodbye, and his best friend answers her phone.
Oh,
Feel.
And he's like, oh, well, tell my wife I said goodbye, and then hangs up and gets owned.
That sounds insane, but still sounds more grounded than that Inazuma 11 anime you talk about.
It's the live action version of that anime.
It is. It really is. But everyone owes it to themselves. Like it's not outside of your capacity to find the ability to watch it.
We've said this about at least 2 or 3 movies we've done cursed content on, but this one the most, even more than Isolation 119. Go watch Versus.
Like I said earlier, this movie being on cursed content was simply a Trojan horse to get you guys to be aware of this. Because if we just told you, hey, there's this great movie we love, you should see it, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, I'll put that on my back burner. That'll be a good idea to do sometime.
Instead, we've Trojan horsed it in with, what's your least favorite scene? I'm really sad when the cool green shirt guy turns into a lizard. And you're just like, what the fuck is this movie?
What's your least favorite scene, KZ? The one where there's no sequel.
For those of you who did watch it, I have good news for you. We might have mentioned during the commentary and through this that there is Ultimate Versus because they went back 4 years later, got all the actors, went back to the Forest of Resurrection and recorded 10 minutes more of content because it just wasn't enough. And everything they added to that is absolutely wonderful. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And now you have another way to watch this with just even more.
Right, a reason to rewatch it. Because this is a movie I'd love to watch more than I have.
Yeah.
I've already seen it probably 4 times.
Yeah, I feel like we've done a really bad job of finding time to watch Battlefield Baseball and Versus over the last few years.
Right. every time we met somebody new, we used to just show it to them, and that'd be our excuse to rewatch it. But we just stopped doing that
Because we stopped meeting people.
or having time.
That's true. It's more a time thing.
Man, this movie is incredible. Absolutely. If you've ever watched a cutscene in Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, or basically any action game from the PS2, you probably want to see Versus.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Devil May Cry 5 live action cutscenes? And if you like those, then maybe consider checking out our commentary track.
Well, I think that's it. Watch Versus and watch it with our commentary track at patreon.com/GB podcasts.
Also, they convinced me. I'll change my score to a 5.
Yes! Thank you, Casey. Thank you. I knew it.
I'm sorry. I'm
knew it.
sorry. You won. You weakened me. 2, I'm incredibly tired, and during that, I'm a bit more pessimistic on films. But you've turned me around.
You knew in your heart it was the best, didn't you?
So it's certified is cursed.
It is certified.
I went
not
through my
correct.
brain and I realized, oh shit. It's been a long time since people answered with a bunch of different things. And I'm like, I remember all these.
Wow. High praise.
Mm-hmm.
Put that shit
I
on
was
the
like,
box.
I'm still thinking 3 more things. Yeah.
This box is a mess.
I think
This
that
box is a mess. Put that on the box.
This GigaBoots video was brought to you by the arcane powers of our executive producers, Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Starfalcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, and 32X Wen. Thank you very much to our powerful executive producers. And also these guys. If you like this video and want to lend us your power, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.